Mustafa of Digital Marketing with Mustafa. Thank you for tuning in to this episode this evening. As advertised, we will be having an interview today. It won't be me just speaking, I'll be bringing on a special guest in a few moments. And this is something that I want to get back into doing going forward because as a person, I know that there are limitations to my knowledge. There are things that I don't know. So when those gaps arise of things that I don't know or I'm not too knowledgeable on, then I bring in those guests, those experts, those professionals who have that knowledge and have that experience so they can fill in the gaps and help educate me and also help educate the audience. So tonight on Digital Marketing with Mustafa, we have such a guest who is going to speak to us from her experience in graphic design. She is the owner of a graphic design business. She has a background in graphic design and she has a passion and love for graphic design. Her name is Samantha Roberts. She is the owner, the founder, and designer behind Sam Nicole Designs, a creative studio she started in 2019 out of love for art and a whole lot of curiosity. What began as a personal artwork gallery eventually grew into a full design business. She taught herself graphic design through online courses and self study. And she officially started taking clients in 2022, so just 4 years ago. And since then, she says she has made it her mission to help small business show up and look the part online because every business, she says, no matter the size, deserves a professional presence. Her hands-on journey from artist to designer gives her a unique perspective on the industry, especially as AI continues to reshape what it means to be a creative professional. You can follow her work on Facebook at Sam Nicole Designs. So that's just a brief overview of who Samantha Roberts is, who I'll be bringing to the stage in just a few moments. So go ahead and get your ears open, get your mind open, and prepare to let's learn about graphic design in the era of AI. So at this time, I want to go ahead and bring Samantha Roberts to the stage. Hey Samantha, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. I just want I gave everyone the brief bio of who you are, a little bit of your journey. If you will, just personally introduce yourself to the audience and just um, tell them who you are and what you're about. Just hearing it from you.
Okay. My name's Samantha. I have been an artist pretty much my entire life. I sold my first commission back in 2019. I've done several art galleries, festivals, stuff like that. Um, Past several years, I got more interested in doing digital artwork and got into doing graphic design. I was heavily inspired by my older sister, who is also a graphic design artist down in St. Petersburg, Florida. She
Oh,
is
good,
absolutely amazing at what she does.
good, good.
Um, and so I started doing graphic design, and through running my own small business, I grew a passion for helping other small businesses get off the ground and get moving. And so that's what we do over here at Sam Nicole Designs. And I absolutely love my job, and I love what I do, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future.
Great, great. And that's going to be one of the questions that we end on. Just what does that future look like with so much AI? We became acquainted based on our mutual disdain for AI, what's been termed as AI slop,
Mm,
and seeing so many bad flyers online. I thought it was interesting that there was a news story just last week about AI slop that term is actually entering mainstream discussion and discourse, and people are really discussing it. Where before it was just a little trend on social media, AI slop, but it's reaching national and mainstream discussion now. So
yeah.
we will start with that. When you hear a term like AI slop, what comes to mind to you as a graphic designer, someone who is passionate, has really put in the legwork to do this seriously?
Well, unfortunately, the first thing that comes to mind is I first heard the term several years ago in the art community. A lot of artists, not just graphic artists or digital artists, but a lot of artists out there are really upset with it. They are terrified that it's going to basically make them obsolete. Um, I myself have a completely different opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but I heard it lots of years ago, and basically, AI slop means that AI is not as good as a human. The flyers and graphics that AI produces almost always have something wrong with them. Most people have seen this. Customers are seeing this. Businesses are seeing this. Everybody is seeing it. And that is where the term AI slop comes into play because it's slop. It's not great. Sometimes the people have five fingers or there's so much on one page that it's really hard to read.
And that has been my experience as well. I'm not a graphic designer by no means at all. I can dabble a little bit with Canva. I can dabble a little bit with Adobe, but I would not dare insult myself or my audience by telling them, yes, I'm a graphic designer. Yes, I can handle that project. But I'm able to dabble just a little bit to at least be functional, I would think, to get,
Mm-hmm.
some things done. And I remember getting on Chat GPT about 3 years ago, and it was Dolly at the time, the image generator. And God, it was crazy. Like you say, I mean, 3 legs,
Mm-hmm.
12 fingers. It was just nuts, the stuff that was coming out. And I used to joke and like people saying that this is gonna replace artists and design. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, it's no way. But
Yeah,
things. Go ahead.
maybe one day AI will get there to where we only have five fingers on one hand,
Hmm.
or all the words are spelled right or not jumbled. But as of right now, it is so easy to tell the difference between something that was designed with intention by a human versus what is made by an AI bot. Because I'm telling you, the backlash that I've seen online, nobody wants to see that. People think that when they see a business using the AI flyers, that they're cutting corners. And so many people are worried about the future and their jobs that if they see a business using those, they're not going to do business with them. And so it's costing a lot of businesses their livelihoods. And I don't even think they realize that they're doing that yet because I don't think the retaliation is fully hit yet. But
And
it's
that's interesting that you said that. I saw a Facebook group about an hour ago as I was scrolling, and it was a business that had a Facebook group, and they were basically saying like, if you use any type of AI flyers or any type of AI generated art, you cannot post in this group, or we won't work with you. However they said it, that
Mhm,
basically, like you said, it was just a restriction. Like, we're not going to work with you
mhm.
if you do. You're restricted.
And that's the exact backlash that I've been seeing online. I work with different people and help manage their social media as part of my business, and so I get to see a lot of the behind the scenes things that you don't normally see just doom scrolling down Facebook or TikTok. And it's not pretty. Half the world thinks that AI is this really cool thing that it's but it's really not that important. And then the other half, I think, are like a lot of us designers, and we're terrified that it's going to take over our industry.
Hmm.
I do have fears myself about it, but I also think that there is another option that is more likely. So,
Hmm. And that's something that I went through personally. A couple years ago, I went through a boot camp to get certified in coding. And right as I got to the end and reached this threshold, AI becomes a thing. And we learned that, AI can code, and it can code pretty good. And
mm,
it was telling us that, AI would most likely knock out a lot of junior coders,
Mhm.
what I would be, those entry level positions, that would be considered obsolete. That a senior designer, senior coder could kind of wiggle with AI a little bit to replicate what a junior developer could be. So I'm like, oh man, as soon as I got it, I just got knocked out, and I just never pursued it any further. So that conversation is real. That a lot of people think that this AI may wipe them out.
Yeah. The sister that I mentioned earlier, that is a graphic artist, she still has a job because she was a higher level, in a higher level position. But she said a couple of the people that are below her have already lost their jobs, and her hours were cut down from full time, 40 hours a week. And now I think she says she works on average around 12 hours a week. She was sending me pictures of stuff and she said, "Oh, that's AI." Me, I'm trained in AI. I'm very familiar with it. And so I can tell immediately, but most people looking at this stuff can't. And I think a lot of the AI slop retaliation started um, when people were using it to post fake news. Like here in Florida, everybody knows we have a hurricane season. And
Yes.
last year, we were very blessed to not have any major storms for the most part come through.
Hmm.
But the fake news that people put out on the internet, especially Facebook, was just awful. They had people terrified and stuff like that. So while I think AI really can be used for good, I'm a little worried about what it's going to be used for on the other side of that spectrum as well.
Yeah. And my position, I always tell people, I take a middle position in it. I love AI. I use it, every day in some aspect of my business development and the
Hmm.
business. But I'm not so gung ho with AI that I'm blind to, like you say, the dark side of AI or the limitations of AI or, just the bad side of things. So I try to take a middle course. I'm not gung ho AI, 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 or I'm just so blind that I don't see some of those dark side things of AI.
Yeah, and I think with anything in life, you have to take the good and the bad. It's not just for wedding vows, but you really do need to learn to take the good and the bad with everything. Whether it's a job, whether it's AI, everything has a good and a bad side to it. And so I see how people are upset about it and all of this other stuff, but I also think that AI can be really useful if used properly.
Okay.
That I think is the key, especially for us as designers.
Yes. And I'm sure you have seen some of these flyers that come on social media. And as I say, I'm not a designer, but I'm like, I could do better than that. I can do a lot
I think
better.
my 9-year-old could do better than some of them. Yeah.
And I just asked the question like, you didn't think before hitting submit to even put that out that that just doesn't look good at all. Like you say, it's so much jumbled information where you can't get to the point. What's the point of the flyer? Where am I going? What time is the event?
Uh huh.
It's just a mess.
Yep. That's exactly why we're seeing this backlash from customers that don't want to do business with people like that because of exactly what you just said. It's a mess. If they're putting something out there in public on the internet for everybody to see that looks like that, why would you want to do business with somebody who's cutting corners and makes themselves look so lazy? If they don't care what they're putting out there, then why would anybody care about their business? And I'm really hoping that a lot of these business owners posting these flyers start to pick up on that, or they're going to lose a lot of business.
Hmm.
I do.
Okay, so let's go into this. Do you think the issue is AI itself, or is it more about people without design principle, strategy, or creative direction using this AI?
I don't think it's AI itself because AI only can do what you tell it to do.
Mhm.
I've seen a few of your posts here recently talking about prompting AI the right way. And that's 100% correct. It's one of the things that they've taught us in college because they taught us basically that the more detail you give it, the better. And so you're going to get better results. So if you just sit there and you go on ChatGPT and you're like, hey, I want a picture of a unicorn with a purple jacket on or something, whatever,
Mhm.
it's going to give you a picture of a unicorn with a purple jacket, but it's going to look awful. But
Yeah,
if you took that description and you made it a whole lot more detailed, it's going to do better. So either which way, you can't be lazy if you're going to use AI. It can be great as a creative tool, scheduling tool for finding out information, but always fact check your AI, or else
please,
you're going to end up like these guys posting these horrible flyers all over Facebook.
please.
If you don't check what the results are that AI is giving you, you're going to end up getting burned. And I don't think people realize that. They just trust it to know everything, but it only knows what it knows.
Okay. Let me put this on the table. This is something I've been doing lately. As I say, I'm not a graphic designer by no means at all. I think I'm probably the worst person ever to touch any type of tools, but I dabble. What I've been doing is AI assisted graphic design, where I design something and then I'll kind of ask AI to critique it as from the persona of a graphic designer and ask it to kind of guide me, like what should be here or what should be there or what would make this look better or how does this look, kind of get that second eyes on it. And then I kind of go back in and design it. But I gotten away from really just letting AI have its way with anything because,
Mm-hmm.
last year, this was just like a God saying, "Oh, I don't have to graphic design no more, to hire nobody, just boop, do, 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 do." And we're seeing how that worked out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm getting more back into me putting my hands back on the wheel and kind of using AI as just like an assist. What do you think about that?
Yeah, use it like an assistant because I watched a video on YouTube not long ago. The guy said AI can be great, but you have to talk to it like it's a 5 year old. And that's exactly right because it doesn't know anything unless you tell it. It can search the web, but you can do that on Google. What do you need AI to do that for? If you want AI to do something specifically, you need to give it specific directions. And that's where I think the difference between people that advance over the next several years and the people that don't, that's the difference. They're going to figure out how to use AI because there's a specific way you need to do it, which I'm sure you know since you use it often. If you don't use it the correct way, it's going to ruin things for you. But if you figure out how to use it as a tool, as a companion,
Mm-hmm.
it can do great things for your business. Even designers, it's funny that you mentioned the thing about how you were using it to critique your designs. A lot of designers nowadays are doing 80% AI, and the last 20% we're just going in there and fixing all the little things so it doesn't look like this crazy
Mm-hmm.
AI slop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. And I actually did that a couple of days ago. I had a design. My creative juices were just really low. I just could not get up to design something. And so I
mm,
just put in a very detailed prompt and told it to give me like the outline, give me the template of it.
mm.
And then I took it over to Canva and kind of filled in the blanks and kind of tweaked it a little bit to where it looked something that I would be, happy with presenting. But that's something that I've done and I'm doing with my AI tools.
Yeah, I use it. I use it all the time with my business. Um, I use it to help me, come up with a schedule for like social media. I'll use it for research. I've even used it. I'm on the leadership team at my college for the art club, and so I'll use it sometimes to give me ideas for like drawing prompts or if we have a drawing prompt and say it's like space, I'll be like, hey, I want a picture of a giraffe in space, can you give me an idea? And then I'll use that and I'll actually use it to go as a reference for my artwork, and I
Mhm.
have no problem with that. They talk about academic integrity with AI in my college a lot because they teach AI,
Yes.
and I believe that right there is going to be the thing for people to learn the most, because we have AI checkers out here. They've been using AI checkers for years to check students' essays. I do it with my kids that are homeschooled all the time because they think they're smart. But um, you can't use AI without somebody figuring it out. So you might as well learn how to use it responsibly, or
Yes.
else it's going, there's eventually going to be laws, just like we have copyright laws now.
Yep.
Eventually somebody's going to have to make laws for the usage of AI.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't use it right, it'll end up costing you a lot.
Yes. The next question, part of the conversation. I was joking with some of my designer friends, and I was telling them that I think in the next 6 months or before this year, and you guys are going to be flooded with so much business as the pendulum it swung so far to the left last year, where
Uh-huh.
like when people found out that AI could do these graphic designs and they could cut out the graphic designer that they may have been paying for, people went gung ho into it, like, oh, let me do my flyers, oh, let me do my this, let me do that. And we're seeing what's happening with that. So the pendulum swung so far left, and
Mhm.
now, as you say, the backlash is coming for
Mhm.
people that are in businesses. So I'm believe that the pendulum is going to swing back to the opposite side where people are starting to see, like, I can't do it on my own. I don't. It's a little bit more to creating flyers than, like you say, just putting in a prompt to or here, especially if you don't know how to prompt. It's a lot more to it.
Mhm.
So I believe that the graphic designers are going to be getting a great influx of business in six
Mhm.
months to by the end of this year. As
I I agree with that, and I've already actually started to see some of that happen, just kind of trickling in, because other people are noticing what I've noticed about the backlash of people not appreciating the AI slop that's out there. Me personally, I've gotten quite a few things. Recently, I actually redid a logo for this young lady who has a really adorable little business. She does like a lot of handcrafted stuff, and she had built her logo using Chat GPT, but she couldn't get the letters in the center of it just right.
Mhm.
Here comes me, a designer. I fixed it for her pretty quickly, and she was super happy. And I feel like designers are going to be seeing that kind of work flooding in a lot. We're going to be the fixers. Oh, hey, I made this flyer on AI. Can you fix it? I can't figure out how to fix it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I believe that's what's going to happen. So, as a designer, my advice would be learn AI as fast as you possibly can. Learn how to prompt it, learn how it works, because not only can it make your job faster, more efficient, stuff like that, but you're going to end up getting these little fixer up projects eventually, because I've already seen a few of them come my way. And so if I'm seeing it, I know other people are seeing it. And so if it's already happening, I really think the pendulum, the boat's going to rock right back to that other side. Like you said, it's just, it might look a little different than when it first started.
Yeah.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that kind of leads into, what do you think the future design will be with more and more AI tools? I see Gemini just released a new update, and Omni where it has all these new bells and whistles where you can create video content and images and things like that. So what do you think the future of people in your industry would be with just so many more AI tools, and it's only going to advance more. I don't know where this is going to end, but they're constantly reiterating it, and it's getting better, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten better over the past year alone. But I really do believe it's going to be like I mentioned before. Designers are we're going to see kind of a lull if we haven't already seen it. Like I said, I think it's coming back up the other side, but I think we're going to get a lot of fix it projects, or um, yeah, there's an app that can build you a website in 10 minutes,
Hmm.
but do you know how to prompt it?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm a designer that knows how to prompt it. And then when it gets done building it and you don't like it, we can fix it because I know how to do that. I
Hmm.
think designers, they really need to learn AI, learn prompting, learn as much as they can now before it comes back through, because that's when I feel like they're going to lose their jobs. I don't feel like we're going to have as many designers in the future as we do now, but I still believe the industry is going to still be relevant. It's just going to look a lot different. It's going to be a lot more AI focused, a lot more we have to fix the messes that other people made type situations. And
Yes,
that's fine. That's totally fine. But if you can't go with the change, you're going to be one of the people that get left out, I think.
yes. And you kind of answered that. I was going to ask you what skills do you think will matter the most going forward as a graphic designer, but you pretty much kind of answered that. If you want to just reiterate that.
Uh, yeah, it's mostly just learn AI, learn new technology. Ever since computers came out, back in the 80s and 90s, and a lot of people lost jobs when computers came out. A lot
Yeah.
of people lost jobs when the first car was invented. You know, the
Yep.
blacksmith that put the horseshoes on the horse, he was probably pretty ticked off about the invention of the car. But things like this in history have happened multiple times.
Hmm.
And we as a people have to learn to move with it or we will get left behind. And right now, the change in the world is AI, whether you like it or not.
That's a funny story that I always like to tell people that at one time the horse and buggy that was your transportation mode. That's how you got around. But when the automobile Henry Ford Model T came out, that put the horse and buggy industry, closed it out. But it
Mm-hmm.
also created the public transportation, the cab industry, the
Mm-hmm.
vehicles. And so, something's always coming that's going to knock something else out. And like you say, if we don't adjust with that time, then, we get wiped out and become a footnote, become history.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I do believe, like I said, the world's going to be a whole lot different in the next 10 years, if not sooner. I'm very interested to see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. So if there's a student right now that's listening to what we're saying and they maybe had a passion for graphic design and they thought that was what they were going to go into for a career, and maybe they're hearing these chatters that graphic design may not matter in the future, AI is going to take your job from you,
Mhm.
what advice will you give to that student that's contemplating right now saying, I want to sign up for graphic design in college next semester, but I don't know if this is even going to be a viable career long term to take care of me? What would you say to that student who's just thinking that like that?
Well, I believe that whether you go to college or you learn online like I did, I believe that graphic design is still definitely going to have a strong need in the future. Um, like I said, it's going to be different. I would suggest maybe alongside your graphic design courses, you take some AI courses. You learn as much about technology as you can, like how does this computer work, what computer's better, because you're going to need to know all of these things. I, for some reason, did not think that graphic design was so technologically focused,
Hmm.
but it is. It is essentially a tech job anymore. It used to be you drew it out on a piece of paper, you uploaded it, you fixed it and all that stuff. And now it's pretty much everything is on a computer. And
Yeah.
so if you're not good with technology, you're not going to be good with graphic design. Just because you can draw a pretty picture doesn't mean you know how to vectorize or render a picture. And so, if it's something that somebody really wants to get into, I would suggest not only doing the graphic design courses, but taking AI and taking a technology course as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's pretty much all the questions that came across my mind that I wanted to know and just put to you as a professional and someone that has a passion for this in this field. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think is relevant that needs to be discussed? Is there any message you would like to say to those AI flyer creators out there, or anything
Oh,
like
well, that was unexpected. But the as for the AI flyer people, um, please, 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 either learn how to prompt correctly or hire a designer. A lot of people used to complain about templates and how things all looked the same when Canva first came out.
Hmm.
And now they're complaining about the same thing with AI. If you want your business to succeed, either learn how to prompt correctly or hire a designer. Either which way, you're going to have to pay something, your money to learn or your money for a graphic designer. Your choice.
Your choice. you heard it. You heard it from her. Your choice. Either learn and figure out how to prompt or hire the designer. Well, thank you so much for coming on and spending a few minutes with me and just really giving us the breadth of your expertise and your information and the passion that you have for this. Like I say, we were joined, came together by mutual disdain for this AI slop that's going around. And when I decided to go back into the interview segment of the show, you were just on top of mine to be a guest to just really hear from a graphic designer and hear your insights on this AI and the industry and everything that's going on. I will leave you with the last few words if you want to just talk about your business, point them to how they can get in contact with you and things you can do for them. I'll give you that final word.
Well, as you mentioned earlier in our conversation, I own Sam Nicole Designs. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook under Sam Nicole Designs. I do graphics, I do custom artwork, I do small static websites for small businesses, social media management, plus the list of other services that you can find all on my Facebook. I keep my prices low specifically because I work with small businesses. So if there's a small business owner out there that is looking to help get their business online or just maybe help it out a little bit or boost it up, I would be happy to talk to you. My prices are transparent. They are listed under the featured thing on my Facebook page. So I have nothing to hide. I keep things friendly, very casual. And like I said, for small business owners, if you're looking for that digital presence, feel free to find me on Facebook or Instagram.
All right. Well, with that, just want to thank you again for coming on with us and just encourage anyone that's listening out there. Definitely go check her out. Sam Nicole Designs. You can find her on social media. You can go to her website. Um, great designer. Really passionate about what she do. Definitely check out. Give her your business. And with that, I'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much again.
Thank you too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, thank you everyone. This was a inaugural episode of me coming back into the interview format. I haven't done this in 3 years, so you may not have noticed, but I had the jitters and the shakes and everything. But I look forward to continuing conversations like this with people in the industry, whether it's digital marketing like myself or graphic design like Samantha just did, or AI, or just so many different industries, create content creators. We want to bring all of those type of people onto the show so we can listen to them, we can learn from them, we can be inspired by them, and we can all become greater. Information is just the greatest thing that we can always receive that can improve us from one day to another, one week to another, month, a year to another. So I have two amazing interviews coming up next week. On Wednesdays is pretty much going to be my interview days. So look forward to that. Wednesdays at 5:30. That's the time that I have set for the interview segments that I'm going to be doing. And the cadence that I'm going to do is going to be 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So every month, look forward to three interviews in that month on Wednesdays at 5:30, unless otherwise noted. Next Wednesday at 5:30, we have another amazing guest. I want to bring her flyer up that I created. We're going to have Monique Addison Stinson next Wednesday at 5:30. She is the founder and owner of Business Church Life, and she is committed to helping Christian women over the age of 40 discover their purpose, their passion, and how they can transition into entrepreneurship and using their God given gifts to function as an entrepreneur in the age of over 40. I'll let her come on and tell it a lot more and better than I can. But she will be on next Wednesday at 5:30. That's Monique Addison Stinson. The theme of the show and title of the show will be Doing Kingdom Work in the Digital Era. That's Monique Addison Stinson be coming on, the founder of Business Church Life, 5:30. And next week we're going to do two interviews because of the next guest is really did some amazing last weekend. So I want to catch it while the fire's hot, if you will. And I'm going to bring on a second guest in 1 week. And the next guest that we're going to bring on Erica, who, if you're in the Pensacola, you know, she just did the Pickles and Wings event, family festival last weekend, which I was very happy to be a part of, both as a participant and as a media partner, helping put the word out there and bring some awareness of the Pickles and Wings Festival. And the Pickle and Wing Festival, it was amazing. It was a rounding success. I mean, it was 4 to 5 thousand people there easily throughout the entire day. I was there from 7ish in the morning all the way to like 7:30 that night. So I was there like 12 and a half hours. So I saw it from the sun just coming up, and it was nothing there to people trickling in to around noon. Everyone was there to 3 o'clock. It was still growing. 4, 5. It was growing to where it just everyone started packing and going. So I saw the whole experience, and it was just really amazing. So I got with Erica and asked her, would you be willing to come on the show to have a retrospective interview of the Pickles and Wing Festival? And we're going to talk about that and how digital platforms allowed her to get the word out to more people than Pensacola. People as far as Mobile, Crestview, Navarre, people were coming to this event. But it was because of digital platforms, social media, that allowed the word to spread further than Pensacola. So we'll bring her on next Friday on the 29th at 5:30, tentatively, to give a retrospective interview of Pickles and Wings. So just keep that in mind. Next week we got Monique Addison Stinson on Wednesday, the 27th at 5:30, and then we're going to bring Erica on that Friday at 5:30 as well. That's going to be the 29th. So that's pretty much everything. Thank you for tuning in to the interview. Check me out at digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's my one-stop shop website. That's digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That will connect you to my blog, my podcast, my YouTube videos, my PDFs I have you can download, my upcoming book, Digital Domination, Book One. Definitely want to check that out. And you can stay in contact with me. I also do social media management as well. I do consulting for small businesses, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, creators, to help get you on track and help solve some of your problems. If you want to get with me on that, there's a cost for that, but it's reasonable, and it will be very thorough as I help you out in your digital and even your AI endeavors. So the time has been well spent. Thank you again for tuning in. We're going to land the plane, and I will see you next Wednesday at 5:30 for Monique Addison Stinson. And I may go live before then with just an episode with myself talking about something in my field of digital marketing or AI. So in either way, I'll see you very soon. Take care.